I used to have a set of stairs that my friends called the Rickety Doom. One day, while my dad was here, my foot went right through a step. I realized I was lucky I didn't get hurt and that he wasn't on the stairs. For years, I went back to using a ladder because I was scared to build stairs wrong again. Today, the ladder's gone, and I'm going to show you how I built these super strong winder stairs even when the math got really confusing.
Hey guys, so this is my I can't find my hair tie day, but I decided to come out and put myself on camera anyways because I am going to lose the gumption to do so if I don't get it done. For the last several months, in between all of the other projects I've had to work on, things for the house and actual work that took me away from the house for many weeks, I have been working on a set of stairs here in the workshop.
I needed to reach my loft safely so I could turn it into an office, and I have a small space in this weird corner and the need for a stair set. Here's how I went from winging it to a professional plan. Now back in 2020, I was in a big rush and I used cull lumber. That was the leftover junk wood from the store to slap together some stairs. Now I thought it was being smart and saving money, but building something important like stairs with bad wood is a recipe for a rickety doom disaster. I finally sat down to do it right and spent all day using a computer program to design a perfect stair set. But when I clicked print to get my shopping list, the website asked for $100 a year or $30 a month. I felt trapped and frustrated because I had just wasted a whole day on a plan I couldn't even keep or pull the measurements from. I finally found a free stair calculator online, but there's a super huge catch. It only used millimeters, and my tape measure only uses inches. I had to dig out an old art ruler from 2002 to mark my boards. It felt like doing a giant art project just to figure out where to cut. Instead of measuring off of a ruler for every single step, I decided to make a template, and I used that template to mark the entire stringer all the way down before making any cuts, just to make sure that everything was going to line up right. Now before we get building, let's learn the names of some of these parts. Number one is the stringers. They're the long notched boards that act like the skeleton holding up the stairs. The treads are the flat part your feet lands on. The rise is how high you step up to reach a tread, and the run is how long or how deep that tread is. If these aren't all exactly the same size, you get tripped up every time you go up and down the stairs. In an old barn like this, nothing is level. It makes things difficult when you're trying to create a square and level structure or surface. The floor leans one way, the loft leans the other way. Now to fix that, or to accommodate that, I started building these stairs upside down. I literally started from the top, attached the first stringer to the loft floor joist, and then screwed the stringer to the wall to make sure that it was perfectly flat and level. When I got to the ground level, I had to cut custom length posts to give the bottom of the steps structure and attach it to the floor. This allows the entire stair set to have a good strong skeleton, but I had to do it backwards and it took a long time. Now the hardest part of this for me was the winder. That's the 90-degree turn near the bottom. The math was really tricky, and I ended up with some gaps between the boards because the treads needed to be wider than the 11 inches they would be otherwise. I filled those gaps with a mix of wood glue and sawdust and used screws to tie them in tightly to each other. I don't care particularly if these treads look pretty, I just needed them to be as solid as a rock. Now here the stairs are done. They have a 7¼ inch rise and an 11-inch run. I learned that planning is the most important tool in the shop. If I had planned better years ago, I wouldn't have spent 2 years climbing a ladder and almost 6 months of weekends rebuilding a custom stair set. Now, if this helped you feel a little braver about taking on your next project, hit that like button. Subscribe to see me turn the loft into a real office. And before you go, here's a riddle. I have many steps, but I never walk. I help you up, but I have no hands. What am I?
So behind me, you can see the stairwell. The risers are made out of OSB, as you saw in the video. And you can also see the steps themselves. The treads are made out of that 2x12. By buying the boards and cutting the treads this way, basically made it so that I was using about a quarter of the money as it would have been just to buy normal pine steps. So that's why I went with this style instead.